Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us on RedFeather's YouTube. We are so excited to be joined today by TJ Perkins. She is a gifted and multi-award winning author with 13 books published in the New Age genre, as well as the genres of mystery, suspense for young adults, and fantasy for teens and children. She's been published numerous times in a wide variety of magazines, anthologies, and websites, and she has 3 titles with RedFeather: Four Little Witches, the Healthy Witch Workbook, and also the Healthy Witch Oracle cards. TJ, we're so excited to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you. And TJ, we're just so excited to have you on our catalog. The Healthy Witch Oracle and Workbook, especially, so timely to the witch community at a time where, witchcraft, Wicca is bigger than ever, still the fastest growing religion in the United States, more pertinent than ever. And can't wait to dig into what advice you have to share on more balanced living.
Wow. So, number one is it's hard to be witchy all the time, and it's hard to be healthy all the time. You have your work environment tearing you down. We have our own, living environment, what's around us, the air and autos and all that stuff is that breaks us down. It breaks down our skin. It affects our cells. But really, I mean, a witch always has to have that balance, and sometimes we can't always find that balance. So I have the Healthy Witch, and I figured it's fun. I made it as simplified as possible. You don't have to be a witch to understand it, figure it out, and have fun with it. Excuse me. Um, definitely, your job could just suck your will to live. And what do you have? You come home, you got to cook or clean, you got the kids, you got the dog made a mess, and you just feel like, ugh, what am I going to do here? It's nice to take that me time, go into your bedroom or your little office or whatever is your quiet sanctuary, if you can, and do some meditation and break open the Healthy Witch and take a look through it. And you write in it, you can highlight in it, you can make doodles and figure out what is possibly hurting you.
Mm.
It's kind of interesting because I started this whole thing when I was having so many problems, and I was having, the bloating and the stomach hurting. I couldn't figure it out, and I was exercising and lifting weights, and I was, in the best shape I could possibly be, but my entire body hurt. I was having all over muscle inflammation. Um, I was going for massage therapy and acupuncture, and I found a holistic chiropractor who does she does the activator chiropractic method, which there's no twisting and cracking. It's very, very gentle, quick. Put your vertebrae and things into place before your muscles try to move them back out of the way. It's very precise. It's the only thing that's ever happened to me. And lo and behold, this woman also does what's called the nutrition response testing. And I thought it was a bunch of hooey. I was like, yeah, okay. And she was like, here, let me just do this. And she would take the essence of something and she would put it like on your organs or wherever on your body and hold your arm out, and she would try to push it down. And if she could push it, she was able to narrow it all the way down. And she's like, are you eating eggs every day? And I'm like, why, yes, I am. I'm having hard-boiled eggs in my salads all the time. I love them. She's like, yeah, your liver is taxed. You have to stay off of eggs. And I was like, what? She says, no eggs, anything, like nothing, noodles. Don't have anything eggs. Watch your mayonnaise, because there is vegan mayonnaise and stuff now. She's like, you have to go off of anything that eggs. And I didn't believe her. And she's like, humor me. I did it. She said, stay off of it for a month and see how you feel. Within 2 weeks, my muscle inflammation subsided. Within a month, I felt fantastic. My body, I mean, it was to the point where if you just touch me, my body hurt. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I took that one step further. I started going into other things like doing more research, trying things out. So everything in the Healthy Witch is something that I did myself for an entire year, incorporating it into all of my different rituals and things and
Wow.
following the whole thing. And I actually started at Yule. And I figured, starting at the dark time of the year was really good because then you're also connecting with your shadow self and doing a lot of meditations. And I created like all the little ritual things and things that I did, but I kept the rituals real. Some people think they're kind of bland. I'm like, yeah, because I wanted it so simple that
Right.
people go, you start meditation and you do whatever in your mind the same way, and then you make it more personable for which organ are you working on. And I went through my entire body, and I had also realized while doing this is that the way your organs are set up is just in the shape of the pentagram. So think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you have your heart,
Mhm.
your lungs, your kidneys, your stomach and kidney and liver. Yes, it's in the shape of a star. I was like, I just got really, really excited about the whole thing.
Well,
And I made the whole thing and it works. And it really worked. It worked for me. By the time Samhain came around the following year, the final harvest, I was like, woo, I feel fantastic. And I couldn't wait to share it with everybody.
it's fantastic, of course, that you put the research in, right? You did it yourself, and to know certainly that it worked for you is fascinating. So how do we approach this? All right, so let's talk about the table of contents first. So yes, simple but effective, right? And
Right.
I love just a really good simple working. I was talking to a friend the other day about something I was working on, and I think a spell is best when you go in like a good simple recipe, right? You should have kind of a general idea that you're making spaghetti here, but at the end, how much the garlic's going to go in the pot tonight? Because you're just feeling that, right? I want to leave that space to improvise. So sometimes a simple ritual is really nice. Certainly if you're just starting out, that's going to be nice and accessible. It's going to be accessible to someone who's not necessarily, practicing witchcraft per se, but who's just comfortable with like little basic simple rituals. But, if you're into more advanced stuff, that also means you got the space to put stuff in here yourself, right? This is a good
Right.
starting recipe to get started.
Right.
So let's go through your chapters here. So, all right, chapter one, mind, body, health, the path. So the connection of the three, right?
Right.
Uh, the elements as they pertain to you, the inner magical method. Chapter four, menopause.
I didn't get into a whole lot with menopause. I did touched on it because I want to do something more with that down the road.
Uh, I I'm not there yet, but let me tell you, I'll be reading that chapter soon enough. With the same sentiments. And then seasons of the witch. So, is there a best way? Do we approach this sort of, top to bottom? Is there a particular place that I dive in, depending on, if there's an issue that's bothering me?
Well, when you start going through the book, there are a lot places where you can write down going through head to toe. What are your aches and pains? Right. Is there a problem? Do you have a little problem with this, a little problem with that? Do you have the all over muscle inflammation? Do you not? So then I would say whatever it's like, oh God, my whole body hurts or whatever. Of course. So, just pick something that really seems to bother you more than everything else.
Mm.
Because what I found out is once you fix, let's say I fixed my liver problem by getting off of eggs. The liver and the kidney balanced itself out together. But after that happened, then my knee started hurting. Okay, then you fix your knee. Okay, I got the muscles around that. Oh gosh, the patella is slipping. Well, there's no magical workings that's going to stop the patella from slipping. You got to do little knee exercises and things. Okay, fix that. Then it just seemed like something else happened. I had something else happen to me and it was devastating. And there was no real magical method that was going to make it go away. I had to have surgery. So, And when I had that done, then next thing you know, now something else is happening. So what I noticed is once you fix one thing, your body adjusts, and as it adjusts, well, now it wants you to fix something else. And then pretty soon everything just kind of goes like a domino effect.
Well, it's hopefully getting better. I mean, right, this doesn't mean
Right.
we just keep getting falling apart in the first
And
places. You know, you remind me of I was gonna be a music teacher at one point in my life. We've got a slightly different direction, but you remind me of, like, when we're tuning a string instrument that hasn't been tuned in a very long time, and that I don't know if you've ever played a string instrument, right? But when string instruments are left for a long time, they need a lot of work, and it'll take a long time to get them in tune because there's an initial in tuning, and then it kinda slides back out again, and then it slides back in, and so you'll be tuning, like, the E, the first string, and you'll kind of get that up to where it needs to be, and then you move on to the A, and you'll get that where it needs to be, and by the time you go back to the E again, it's back out of whack. And so you got to kind of keep going at, so it's called fine tuning, right? You got to keep kind of going back again and again to get a little bit closer. And then when you get down to the next E, you've got to go back but eventually, right, you kind of get that whole thing taut again the way that it needs to be after it's been out of shape. And you truly are fine tuning, but all those strings do affect each other. And so when you're fixing something over here, it's funny, this one suddenly tends to slide again. And because it wasn't quite where it needed to be. It wasn't quite at that point of completion.
that's a very good analogy. And yep, that's exactly it. Now, one thing I wanted to make sure that people do understand is that within the book, I do say that I'm I'm not a doctor, but and I'm not. And everything in the book might not work for you, but what I do, I use a lot of like shamanic principles. And there's another principle that I incorporated into the book. It's called the Dragon's Way, and it is a Chinese theory, and it's elemental theory. And see what's it? I wrote something on. It's a lot of magical associations that I took from the Dragon's Way, because a girlfriend of mine was teaching it, and I learned a lot from her. And I was like, oh my God, this is so pagan. And I was like, oh, I'm going to take some of this and mix it in. That's one thing I love about witchcraft. Yeah, I'm very, eclectic. I'll just take bits and pieces of this, that, and the other and throw it all in there and do it, yeah, to make it work. And it does work. Uh, People complain that I'm not putting them on a diet in the book. And I'm like, well, if you think about it, I'm telling you what to omit. In other words, stop drinking this, stop eating that. Well, isn't it the same as a diet without
Be left
saying,
with
hey,
all
I'm
the
putting
other
you
good
on a
healthy
diet?
stuff in between. And who wants to have a diet? I mean, you even start off talking about, don't worry, this is not a diet book. And I said, oh, thank
Not
the
a diet.
goddess.
Yes.
I'm done
It's
with
not
diets. And I think all of us who have tried diets have learned it really doesn't work, right? When you're in that
right.
mindset of you're depriving yourself from something, you haven't fixed the root cause of why you're reaching for unhealthy things or have unhealthy habits. Ultimately, you almost always end up going back again. Like you're leaving your instrument out in the rain every night. Like if you keep leaving it outside, like it's anyway.
Yep,
So
exactly. The other thing is I wanted to mention that some people were saying that the book was I had unfound claims. And but I'm telling you, if you go on Amazon, I have 52 reviews on Amazon for the Healthy Witch the workbook. And yeah, you can't please everybody, but a huge chunk of people, I have people who've left testimonials where they have tried this. There was one man on there went through a whole long paragraph saying how he was using what I call the magical tea, and he used that and some other things that went along with it. And he got his diabetes under control. His diabetes is actually gone now. He got off the metformin, and the doctors are like, huh? And I guess he's to this day he's fine. Yeah, so
fantastic.
I'm like, yeah, I was like, wow, this is really cool. And it does, this stuff does work, but you have to be consistent. You have to keep that balance. Are you going to go out and drink a whole lot and eat a bunch of cheesy fries? It's going to happen. Okay, well now we need to get back on track, you know. Just
Yep.
remember, folks, it takes 3 days to get whatever you eat or drink out of your system. It takes a week to digest and get rid of a steak dinner.
Long time. for your meaty friend to be with you. I I noticed you do balance seems to be a big part of what you do, right? Because it's not just in, the Healthy Witch theme, but it's also in the Four Little Witches, the children's book that you authored with us previously, right? In
Yes.
which these four little sort of witch fairies each represent the elements, and then one of them gets into a bit of trouble, and they need the balance and the help of their other elemental friends to restore balance and get things good and safe again. So I was smiling, noticing that element of balance tying over, and the children's lit over here, and then in the Healthy Witch over here.
Yes. I it's really funny because I really wanted to write a teaching uh Wicca book for kids, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was I took a hike, and I was walking out in the woods, and I was just talking out loud to the goddess and saying, and all of a sudden, this little rhyme, which was the first little paragraph in the Four Little Witches, just started coming around, and I was like, no, I don't want to do a rhyming book. And then the next set of lines came into my head, and I'm just like, I'm going to do a writing rhyming book, aren't I? And sure enough, I did, and it was presented to Red Feather, and you guys loved it, and it was a huge hit for the longest time. The little kids loved it, and it sells really well when I'm at the Maryland Ren Fair.
Sure. Well, we
Yeah,
don't, there's a big need, as more and more people are getting into Wicca and paganism, right? We have kids and we want to be able to share things with them. And honestly, now, it's not just the Wiccan pagan community. At this point, a large portion of parents who might be following other faiths or no faiths at all are just realizing that, hey, there's a lot of different beliefs out there, and we should probably educate our kids on what those are about, because they're going to be interacting with lots of different people in their lives. So I do think there's a growing interest, not just from the community but from outside of it as well.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And in fact, I mean, the only thing I could think, it's kind of scary. You want to put something out even for like middle schoolers to learn from. But then I remember Silver Ravenwolf, and she was bashed so bad on her to ride a silver broomstick,
I
and I'm like,
remember that.
but why? Probably because it just wasn't the right time for it. But now it's more in the public's face,
Right.
and people are a bit more accepting of it. It's really funny because I actually had some I call them Christian witches, pick up the Healthy Witch. And they were like, oh, we're going to do this together. And I'm like, you know what that is? They're like, sure, I'm like, okay,
Okay.
you guys go
So,
ahead.
okay, that's good. We encourage healthy dialogue across the belief systems. That's fantastic. All
Yeah.
right, so let's chat about then the Healthy Witch Oracle cards. So
Yeah.
how do we approach this deck?
Well, it's really interesting. Um, let me turn on my light real quick because it's starting to get dark in my room. So the cards, I wanted all of the cards to match what was in the book.
Hmm.
So the reproductive, can you see
Hmm.
reproductive
Yep.
system? And then of course the nervous system, small intestines. So what even though I created a couple little spreads, the more I played with the cards myself, the more I realized they talk to me better if I do a card a day and then go through the booklet, and
Mhm.
then you find the card, and you can read about it. And then I also have magical associations. So if, let's say, you did pick something with teeth, you're having a toothache or something in your mouth, and then you read it and you go, no, I don't think that's quite right, or it doesn't quite fit my situation. Well, I also have magical associations, and I have a mantra that you can do for that day. So remember, you say your mantra 3 times in a row, and then you're done with it. But you could burn a candle, ask the goddess, or if you want to call in Lord and Lady, and then ask them, give them direction. Is there really something? Is this anything for me? Maybe hold a crystal. That I have zodiac signs that I put, and I even put a little explanation of why I have that zodiac sign. But then a lot of my girlfriends who are card readers as well took a deck, and they said that these work even better with other oracle card decks. And I mean, I'm an oracle card reader. I like using at least 3 or 4 different decks when I'm doing, and with different spreads, 3 cards from each one, spread them around. One lady, um, she found that if she pulled a card, then did a row from another deck, and then pulled another card, then that gives her more of a definite connection. Again, finding that balance, and it's so true. And of course, the everything, the pictures and all are just adorable,
Aw,
and and
cute little
it does,
creatures.
yeah, the features, yeah, like little gnomes and everything. So I would say this is probably the best thing, because I wanted something people could use the book and then something else in their hands,
Mhm,
um, to maybe give them even more direction
mhm.
and help them out. Um, and then maybe you need to exercise a little bit more, or maybe you just need to love yourself.
Aw,
It's
the
like
root of it all.
right, and health isn't all this.
Sure.
It's this.
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's in here, and being in a healthy relationship at home, and finding that peace of mind, and not being worked to death at your job, and trying your best to find. It's really hard to find, and once you find it, keep that balance. And
Mhm.
I'm all about trying to find and keeping the balance, because it just helps you out so much.
Well, we know that balance is absolutely, essential, right, on every level. I'm curious to pull one of these out and just kind of get a feel for them if I could. So hang on a second. Let's see what my reading for the day is here. And I've gotten joints, earth,
Ah,
spring, litha, and movement.
okay,
Now,
so
I
it's
don't
spring.
particularly have issues with my joints, but I'm curious to dig into the book and find out more.
Okay.
Let's see. So, oh, I lost my book. There it is. My desk just looks like Terropocalypse sometimes, but yeah, today it's getting hairy here. Okay, let's see. Joints was card number 19.
Right?
Let's see. All right. Hmm. Most of us have a sedentary lifestyle. Uh-oh. I certainly haven't been at my desk since 7 a.m. this morning. We sit when we drive. We sit when we work. Oh,
I know.
okay, you got me, Oracle Tech. We sit, we relax at home. We sit, sit, sit. It's not good for us. You're right, Healthy Witch. It's not. Lack of movement causes the joints to freeze or stiffen up. Try to remember to get up from your desk once an hour. This may be telling you that it's time to move. Well, that is fair. I don't have joint issues
Yes.
yet, but I certainly need to get more active to avoid them.
Yep.
Make sure you're exercising. Yep. All right. So let's see. Magical associations. Okay. Associated with the rune Isa or Awas.
Mhm.
The cessation of activities, and Awas means physical movement. Zodiac sign of Capricorn rules knees, skeletal system, and teeth. Tarot card, the devil. Bad
Uh-huh.
joints are the devil. I agree.
Yes.
But meaning here, anything that will bedevil you, obsessions or addictions.
Yes.
Crystals, copper, azurite, or turquoise. Master healers, herbs, aloe, eucalyptus, or turmeric, and candle color is green. Meditation, lack of movement can cause the joints to stiffen up. I will be mindful and take walks away from the desk while at work. I'm letting the
Uh-huh.
boss know tomorrow.
Okay. Isn't that interesting?
Excellent.
I
Very
really do
interesting.
think, yeah, I really do think they work better with other oracle cards, or a card a day.
Very cool. Is there anything I haven't touched in yet about these titles, TJ? What else is important to know?
Oh, I don't know. I really, it could be so much different stuff, and I don't want to go over on our time.
Right.
Um, but I would just say, you know what? Get the book, get the cards, try it
Oh,
out, see what works for you. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe you'll find a different way to incorporate your own thing into it, and that's what Wicca is. It's so fun and it's so cool, as you can just do whatever you want with it, and it works because it's your intentions.
sounds like the Healthy Witch is really for everyone who has a physical body. You probably need this book. Because your body is probably going to be occasionally out of balance no matter how on top of things you are. So check it
Yep.
out. It's a great resource to help you stay healthy, stay balanced, and do it in a nice spiritual mind, body, spirit way that's going to resonate for our readers as well. I know. TJ, if people want to be able to catch you over the next couple weeks or months, what are you up to? Where are the best places to follow you?
Let's see, the first play we're doing an author signing at a place in Ellicott City. It's called Backwater Books, and it starts at 7 o'clock, and it's this Wednesday night.
Boy,
And I'm
Wednesday,
gonna have
that's
it's called Backwater Books
water
in
books.
in Ellicott City. It's 8156 Main Street in Ellicott City, Backwater Books. So I will
Fantastic.
be there this Wednesday night. And
Mhm.
then if you miss me there, I will be in Delaware at the Kent County Library starting at 2 o'clock. And that's in April 7th. And let me see. Then I'm going to be in July 26th through the 28th. I will be doing shore leave. And this time that's going to be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So you
Um,
just have to go on shoreleave.com
mhm.
and it'll give you the address and all the information of where to be. And I have been accepted for the Mini Ren Fair August 17th. It's a 1 day only. Howard County Fairgrounds, and that's in Maryland. So you'll just have to look that up. In September 21st, the entire day, I will be at the Maryland Renaissance Festival. And you can find me back at Page After Page. That's the bookstore there. And right now, that's all that there is.
It sounds like a very exciting couple of months coming up. So, wishing you all the luck for those events, and hopefully, some people will be able to make it. That'll be
Thank you.
fantastic. Good,
That
good.
would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
Excellent, TJ. It's been great chatting with you. Happy belated Ostara, and hope you have some
You as
fun for
well.
the upcoming solar eclipse as well.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited for everything. That's all this good energy, the craziness that's going to happen. Throw the cards up and let them land and see what happens in your life after that.
I know it's coming next, I swear. All right, TJ, thanks. Be well.
Thank you. You as well. Blessed be.
Take care. You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.